Well, it looks like our Michigan income tax rate is going down, but then it's going to go back up.
The 2023 rate dipped slightly because state revenues increased enough to trigger a cut for taxpayers. Republican lawmakers passed legislation offering that tax relief, and they went to court hoping to keep the cut in place, but a new court ruling has put that in jeopardy. Business editor Rod Maloney is in the newsroom to show us the impact on your tax bill. Rod?
Yeah, good evening, Kimberly. You know, this is the judge's decision. It's a lengthy tome, 30 pages, and essentially it's saying that the Republican legislature in 2015 wrote a vague law, not giving clarity as to whether these kinds of tax cuts are supposed to become permanent. But that's not what the Republicans who brought the case say. They say they intended for tax rates to ratchet down permanently if the income went up to a sufficient spot. So for now, though, based on the decision, that's not going to happen. The then Republican legislature looked to reduce the state income tax as long as there was money to pay for it. So in the 2022 tax year, you paid 4.25%. In 2023, you will pay a tiny bit less, 4.05%. It's a big tax refund, $750 million back in your pocket. Republican legislators and businesses went to Judge Elizabeth Gleicher asking her to keep the 2023 rate at 4.05 in 2024. The state, led by Attorney General Dana Nessel, who believes the tax cut should only be temporary, wants it to revert back to the 4.25%. In her ruling, Judge Gleicher said, quote, "The situation is temporary. Logically, it would make little sense to provide a permanent tax cut based on economic circumstances that exist in one calendar year," end quote. The Mackinac Policy Center says logically that's exactly what the legislature approved. Patrick Wright is the Mackinac Center's senior legal analyst who's planning an immediate appeal.
It's a temporary speed bump. I don't think that the logic of the case that the judge applied is all that strong. And so I think we'll be able to argue around it pretty easily.
He said the Republican legislature clearly wanted Michigan's 5 million taxpayers to get an income tax cut whenever possible.
Michigan survived until 1967 without one. There are 9 states currently that don't have income taxes.
So the next step is the appeals court and more likely the Michigan Supreme Court, and it's probably going to be sometime perhaps this time next year before we know whether the final Michigan 2024 tax rate settles and where it settles. In the newsroom, Rod Maloney, Local 4.
Okay, Rod, thank you.